Namaskaram everyone. This video is about the full moon. It is the middle of April 2017 and I've just done a video about comparing kind of Western physical yoga with the Isha yoga that I do now. So if you're interested in hearing about my comments and experiences with that, then watch that one. But yeah, I think I'm going to be doing more videos, and I want to give a little bit of a feeling for how yoga affects my life on a day-to-day basis, how it changes my mood, how it changes me physically, how it changes me mentally, how it changes me on an energetic level, and yeah, so anyway, I'll tell you about today, because today was a full moon. I knew it was coming, partly because of gardening by the full moon. I'm quite in tune with it, but now actually the last 2 to 3 months, even when it's been really overcast for days at a time, or I can't see the moon, I'm actually starting to know when it's dark moon or new moon or no moon, however you want to say it, and when it's full moon. On that day, I know when I'm doing my practice that that's what the moon is doing. And I heard a video of Satguru talking about this, that you would just become in tune with what the moon's doing even without seeing it with your own eyes. And I was like, no, I don't believe that. I can't imagine that would ever happen. And I kept kind of not waiting for it to happen, but just one day, like 2 months ago, it started happening. I was like, wow, okay. And so I would feel like it was full moon or no moon or dark moon. I'd go and check the calendar and I was right every time, recently. And I was like, oh my God, so it's actually working now. Well done, Satguru. As always, you're right. So yeah, so I knew it was today, and indeed it was more powerful, stronger. The sensations in my practice were kind of a bit more full on. My energy was definitely stronger, the movements that I was having was stronger, a bit more vibrant, kind of easier to kind of release. And if you do Shambhavi Mahamudra, you'd kind of understand what I'm talking about here. I can't show you really, and I can't demonstrate, but yeah. But the strange thing is, another thing I want to relate it to is a lovely lady that I met recently volunteering in London. She was talking about how with her practice and with her everyday life, she's really noticing how she's very steady and stable. She doesn't drop or kind of go up. She's extremely stable with her life, and her energies. She didn't say very much about it, but I was kind of reading into it. Okay, you know, that's what it means to me, what she said to me. And I feel that I'm definitely not there yet. And an example of that is today. So my practice was strong and I felt great during my practice, and then I came out of my practice, and even a couple of minutes later, you know, the day starts flooding in, what I have to do, and at the moment I'm generally a bit more stressed than I normally would be. I've had times recently when it's been a bit more easy to be stressed. Went away for a while and it's kind of started to come back again. I had a good chat with my husband last night to kind of try and put things into perspective a bit more, but maybe I'll put it into perspective for you. So yeah, I moved country recently. I'm setting up a new business. I haven't really had my own business before, so that's a new thing for me that I'm kind of chucking myself into, and some of it's a bit overwhelming, as well as being exciting. I'm just feeling that I don't have time to do everything, and it all feels a bit like it's piling on top of me. And I've only got my 2 pairs of hands. So I kind of changed my deadline and talked it over with my husband, Robin, and put it forward a few weeks just to feel like I could maybe get it done in that time instead of just like squeezing it all in. So yeah, I felt fine last night, and then this morning it all kind of came back again, even though we talked about it. And I was going to meet some new people using a laser cutter that I'd never used before, and trying to make this huge banner that I'm going to sew for my market stand. And I'll be doing 2 of those per week, as well as selling in 2 or 3 shops. So yeah, there's all sorts going on, and I'm making clothing for women, for children, for babies, for dollies, and that's part of my business, as well as teaching sewing in somewhere the whole day on Wednesday. I've got people that come here and I teach them. So yeah, there's all sorts going on in my life. So yeah, that steadiness hasn't occurred with me. So I wouldn't say I was jealous of what she said with her kind of stability that she's feeling, but I would say that that's definitely something I want to aim for, and that I want to achieve through yoga and through that kind of Zen steadiness of mind that I feel when I'm doing yoga. It's just not translating out into my life 100% of the time. And yeah. But I think that's also why I've decided to do more videos on yoga, because I've taught yoga, not Isha yoga, but other kinds of yoga in England and a bit in France with kids. And that's all fallen by the wayside. It's not happening anymore. And I really miss teaching yoga. I miss showing other people how to be calmer, how to bring something into their life that's beneficial, how to find that kind of peace, that joy, that feeling of meditation or relaxation. I love, seeing people walking out of a class and feeling way better than when they came in, and that brought me a lot of joy myself, and it also kind of accentuated my own practice and kind of made what I did with my own yoga stronger. So I guess that's partly why I'm doing these videos, because it keeps it more at the forefront of my own mind, and keeping that important. And yeah, that's a big blade of grass. Wow. Yeah, and because I haven't done my Isha training yet to be a teacher, that's partly why I feel like it doesn't seem right to really go and teach the kind of yoga that I used to do. I can still do it, much more successfully than the last video. And I could still teach it if I wanted to, but my heart's not in it, because I know it's a kind of Western yoga that doesn't really work. It does to a certain extent, but only takes you so far on the physical aspects. And yes, it did make people walk out the room happier, but when you've experienced the kind of yoga that I do with Isha Foundation, I'm not telling you have to do that. There's loads of different schools of yoga that would kind of get you to the same place that Isha Foundation yoga and those kind of practices, they would be on a par. I don't know what they're called because I've never experienced them. But yeah, there's all sorts of enlightened beings out there, and they're not all with Isha Foundation. So my heart's not in the old kind of yoga anymore, and so teaching it just seems almost a bit false. So that's why I'm putting my energies into Isha Foundation retreats, where I can help organise it, and I can bring teachers to the Pyrenees in the southwest of France, and they can do what they do best. I can do the bits that I can do, possibly maybe do demoing of postures and things, but I wouldn't be able to actually initiate people with the practices. So one day I will become an Isha teacher, and possibly next year. We shall see where that takes us. I'm gathering together some money, and all sorts of other things have to fall into place for me to be able to go. But yeah, that's my little story so far for today. Yoga with the moon, and how I'm not so steady yet, but I'm aiming for that place. And the people that I've got there, you have done an amazing job to get your physical being to that place, and keep it up, because it must be amazing to be there. I think it's time for me to have dinner. Namaskaram everyone. Bye bye.